And good evening and welcome everyone to the Health and Education meeting. We need to get the minutes approved if we could, and I need a motion on that, please.
So moved.
Ms. Cook, thank you. A second?
Second.
Dr. Bullen, thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? No. Community care report. I don't believe we have a community care report tonight. I don't think. Is that right? So, and they have not met. Isn't that correct, Ms. Cook?
No, we met on the 3rd.
Okay.
We met on the 3rd.
Well, is there anything that needs to be reported? I know you were there.
They're doing fine. The chairman's sitting right over there, too.
Yes, he is. Mr. Chairman, do you want to make any?
No, I mean, it's a good report. I mean, we didn't have anything out of the norm or ordinary. We're progressing along nicely. In a new fiscal year like we are.
Well, we don't have a piece of paper to vote on, so we'll move on. Is that fair enough?
Our budget's not as high as we'd like for it to be. I mean, our income, but that's okay. We're all right.
Okay. Health Department report, Ms. Garrett, come forward, please, and welcome.
Are you going to ask you if it's too late to get your flu shot?
You probably don't.
I've got a feeling it's never too late, is it?
That's right.
Report for you guys, yes. I just put it in a folder because there's a little bit more.
Can I have an extra folder?
I did not get to, I didn't get to meet with you guys in April, so I brought April and May's report as well. Our numbers look pretty much the same. We're still increasing in men's health and women's health, which is our primary care clinics. Those numbers are still increasing. Smyrna's WIC numbers are still increasing, and we always see a jump in child health at this back to school time right now with immunization, new immunization requirements and all that. So that's all reflected. You'll see more pool inspections because we have to inspect every pool once a month in the county. So those numbers have increased as well, as you can see as the summer goes along. More pools are open and more pools are inspected. Do you have any questions? Or?
Questions from Ms. Garrett?
Motion to approve the report. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, if there's any discussion, say so now. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposition? None. Ms. Garrett, as usual, well done. You have some other...
Yes, sir. Just two things that I gave you copies of that are going to have to go to the full commission. It's our yearly agreement with the state of Tennessee for reimbursement. Thank you. And that will go to the full commission, but I just wanted you guys to have a copy of it as well.
Won't it go to budget?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, I'd like for it to go to budget.
Okay.
This is the grant contract you're referring to?
Yes, sir. It's not asking the county for anything different than what we did last year. It's the exact same.
So moved. Go to budget.
Ms. Cook has made a motion to go to budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
I guess that was Commissioner Williams, I believe.
No, I didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything?
That was Trey or them.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Good. Should we vote on this?
No money for us.
Okay.
Information is fine.
Okay. All in favor, if there's any discussion, let's say so now. Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Well done. Well voted there, Mr. Gooch. Ms. Garrett, anything else?
No, sir. That's it.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Happy birthday, Pablo.
Thank you. Tell your wife.
Dana,
Yes, sir.
don't we normally do this one as a separate item?
It has to
Your
go
supplement?
through the full commission too. Do we need to vote on that separately? Okay.
Normally, I believe
Guess
it's a
I'm back.
separate item.
Welcome back, Ms. Garrett.
Sorry.
Dana,
This is her supplement.
we need to take this out.
Okay.
Okay.
Social. Okay. All right.
Need to take
This
that
is
out.
a legal contract from the state, so I just gave you a copy of it.
But if the rest of them mark it out.
Okay.
Social, come on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So do we need to action on
I need it to go to the full commission as well.
I believe we need separate action on this one, yes.
motion to approve?
Commissioner Jordan,
Second.
a second. That was Commissioner Williams, I'm positive. You want a roll call on this one, or?
Acclamation is fine.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, then please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None. Again, Ms. Gary,
Okay,
thank you for the second
again.
time. Ms. Jolly? Come on up with the status report, and welcome.
Well, I really haven't done much to the report this time. There's been no amendments, so if you just have any questions, we've just been paying the bills and encumbering purchase orders.
Do you ever get a chance to drive by the schools and admire the work that you report on?
From time to time.
Public needs to know we've had this report for a while, about 6, 7 days, I guess. And any questions from any
Teresa,
committee member?
We have some here that's 100% complete.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to be transferring that money for the end of the year?
No.
Okay,
We will be doing that next fiscal year.
next year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions? Need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Williams, Mr. Pullen, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There is none. Thank you, Ms. Jolly. Always great to see you. Mr. Stamping? Clardy, school board amendments.
Which do
You have one that's not on here too, do you not?
Yes, sir.
I think, here we go. No?
If you give that one to Becky, I brought,
It's hot.
you have a choice. You can have the one sheet, or I made enough packets because I
No, this
thought
is
we would
what
use my
I'm
budget, if nothing else. So if you've got your packet, just take one sheet. I have extra packets.
What I did with it.
Or the campus school is the one that you added on that's not on this.
No, sir, there's a fifth amendment
Okay.
that I added.
So this is number 5.
Right.
Okay.
Are you taking the Fifth Amendment on this?
Always.
If everybody's got the proper paperwork and we're almost there, we have had the first 4 for some time. Okay, Mr. Sandy, Mr. Clardy, whoever's going to do the top, and let's just go one at a time.
Okay, I will give
I
you,
listed it first.
we've been asked to give you an update on campus school,
Okay?
and on the papers that I handed out here, the first page, we have a list of the priority 1, 2, 3, and 4, and what we have complete out of each of those lists. The first was a sizable project that we completed out of priority 1, as including the the elevator addition, the fire alarm, electrical system, stair upgrade. We also completed the HVAC and then removing the fiber board ceiling. In progress work that we have, window replacement and new carpet or VCT in the classrooms. And the window replacement is in our next year's capital improvements that's been approved by the board and in this next year's budget. The new carpet and VCT in the classrooms, every year MTSU puts aside an extraordinary maintenance fund with several $1,000s in it. I don't know exactly how much, but we're doing those VCT, the flooring, out of that money. And what we do, they won't just hand over the cash to us. The billing that they bill back to us for the stuff that they do over there. They take that amount out of what we owe them. So, and give us credit for it. The remaining items out of the priorities are replace the plumbing, repair the front steps and columns, lower the chimney, kindergarten toilet partitions, tuck point the exterior of the building and the brick, tie the rear drain into the storm system, new acoustic ceilings, and exterior painting and sealing. On the next page, I have an estimated cost for the balance of the work that will take to fulfill the MTSU agreement. And you can see that that's about a total of $422,000. And that's in today's construction dollars. With the way the construction is down, getting some really reasonable prices. The last time I presented this, it was at about $1.2 million, but we've taken the windows and done some other things since then, so we're getting it worked down. These items have to be completed by August 2012 per the agreement. So with that, if there's any questions or comments at this time.
When will the windows be done?
The windows have been bid. Right now we're comparing. We're down to 2 bidders and we're comparing. So we hope to get that started. There's some lead abatement. We hope to get that started before and finished before school starts back.
Thank you.
What's an elevator cost?
Depending, a commercial elevator like that with a pit and everything, maybe $180,000. That's 2 floors,
Right.
3 floors, actually 3 openings.
You told us that before. I'd just forgotten the amount. That's a lot of money in it.
It is, but in that situation it was necessary
Yeah, had to be
because of ADA requirement.
Right. Well, do you have a recommended motion on this, or anything involved in this? We in good shape?
Just an update.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough.
While I'm talking, if there's anything, any other questions you have about the new schools or any of that, I'd be glad to answer those.
Please, and I should have said that. If there's any other questions about the campus school?
Well, give us an update then on the 2 middle schools.
Oakland is in really good shape. It's been the way that site is drained over here in the rock. We've been pretty fortunate of working in there this winter. They're both going to open on time, but it is a little bit ahead of the other one. Right now, they're in the process of finishing the gym floor. The auditorium's finished, all the classrooms, everything. They're doing the final cleaning on those. The principal will be moving into both schools the 1st of July with their office staff, and then they'll be scheduling their teachers. And furniture will start arriving at the 1st of the month for both schools. Whitworth Buckhannon's been a little bit different situation because of the rain out there and the size of the site. It's a much bigger site because the high school site's also involved in that. Plus we had about a mile of sewer to lay in. Sewer will be completed by the 1st of July. We just today had start up on the pumping station. It's adjacent to Highway 41 out there on the north side. So it's a little bit behind, but they've gained a lot of momentum over the last 3 weeks, and it'll be ready on time also.
I see a lot going on down in Central Middle, so say something about that.
Central Middle is, you know, most people don't realize how large that building is, but I guess at one time you had 2,300 or 2,400 students in there. We have been in the process of removing asbestos floor tiles down there. We finally have all that abatement done. Most of the other flooring has been pulled out. Ceilings have been pulled out. They're repainting at this point. One wing is completely finished. The science rooms and science labs have the rough end. The floor's cut out and the rough end back in the slab now, so as soon as those are inspected, we'll be replacing concrete. It will be complete on time, but it's been tough also because there's so much of it. But we did manage to get that one wing started about a month and a half before school was out. Principal over there, Mr. Holman, helped coordinate the teachers, and there was plenty of room in the school, so we relocated them out of that wing. And of course, we shut down a week when we were testing, but it's going well and will be done. Robert S. Biskin Company's doing that job, along with the job at Whitworth Buchanan.
Okay, thanks.
You mentioned the startup of the pumping station today at Buchanan. Is that going to be our pumping station, or will that be Murfreesboro Water and Sewer?
It will, I believe we'll have a warranty period on that, which it will be turned over to the city, but we'll have a warranty period on that where the contractor will be responsible for parts and that type of thing, but it will be turned over to the city. The entire system will, from the inlet at the school to all the way down to where it hits the manhole on Manchester.
I didn't want the county to have to maintain that pumping station if we didn't have to.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Any other questions? New schools, or Sandy, you look like you're getting ready.
First Amendment.
Hold on just one second, Mr. Mayor.
I'd just like to go on record and thank Mr. Clardy and his staff. I mean, it's pretty evident we've got a very, very professional team, and they have moved these projects along really nice, and I think we should recognize that. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Imagine those contractors have been told that there is no second choice. I'm sure they know that they either be ready or they'll be ready. Those are the two choices.
The only option is to get them open, and we did. There is one more project, and that's McFadden School of Excellence. We've pretty much removed all the tile on the floors in there, put down new underlayment. We've got the entire exterior of the building repainted with elastomeric paint to solve some of the moisture problems we're having in there. We put a new French drain all along the front of the building and waterproof really well where we're getting water in the basement there. We're putting some new ceilings in there. We're replacing the windows, the balance of the windows that we had not done yet in the old wing. There's just a lot of work going on in there also, and that'll be ready to go when school starts.
Sounds terrific, doesn't it?
And what day would school start?
I believe that's on the 3rd, isn't it?
August the 3rd.
I don't know.
I think the ribbon cutting ceremony's on Sunday. The teachers have a day by themselves on Monday, and then I think Tuesday's a half a day of school.
Election to 5th.
I know when August 1st and my year-end report deadlines are. Then I worry about things after
We're
that.
going to have ribbon cuttings on separate days so we can get out there.
There'll be, on August 1st, it'll be at 1 o'clock at Whitworth Buchanan, and then we'll move over at 3 o'clock to Oakland.
Okay, that's it.
So, and anyone that needs a ride will be more than welcome to ride with me from Whitworth Buchanan to Oakland.
There's about 10,000 people watching this right now that may want to ride.
Feed the school bus.
Okay, Mr. Sandy?
All right. The First Amendment deals with revenues and transfer to federal funds. This amendment addresses cleaning up the budgeted 2009-10 revenues, increases the general purpose school fund balance by $500,000, and decreases transfers to other funds by the same $500,000. Y'all may remember, because of an audit change, we had to do a formal transfer to fund federal projects out of the GPS fund balance. We've been able to get by with just the $500,000. In the revenue amendments, the increases offset the decreases, except we do have $20,500 in recent donations, and the additional expenditures are tied to the purpose of those donations. The recommended motion is to increase the general purpose school fund balance by $500,000 and decrease transfers to other funds by the same $500,000, to amend an additional $20,500 in recent donations and the related expenditures, and to amend the other revenue accounts as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Sandy. Any questions from any committee member on number one? And we'll just vote right on through them, I guess. Are we okay here? I need a motion then to
You want to vote them all at once?
We can do that if it's the will of the committee. It's fine with me. Go ahead, Mr. Sanford.
All right. The second amendment is with substitute teachers. Again, it's a routine cleanup for our budgeted 2009-10 expenditures for substitute teachers. It moves a total of $395,995 in already budgeted funds for substitutes. We aren't using any new funds for subs. We have two object codes that we report subs in, certified and non-certified, and we've had to move between functions. That changes every year.
What is the pay for certified and non-certified?
I will have to get back with you on that. I just had that sheet out in my stack.
Okay.
I really didn't read it.
Do you know the difference?
The difference is not great. I'm thinking it's only like about a $5 a day difference.
$5 a day, I believe. Something.
Between certified.
It used to be 45 and 50, or
it's gone up since then.
47 and a half, 52 and a half.
Yeah. But between the certified and non-certified, it's a $5 a day difference. That's one of the items we've had discussions about, trying to increase that difference. But with the budget situation in recent years, we haven't done anything.
Do you have more non-certified?
This year we had more certified than we did last year, but no, still the majority are non-certified. But there was a definite increase. The first year I was able to track it because of the different pay rate. Only about 14% of our subs, based on total usage, the sub days were by certified. I didn't figure what that would have been for this year, but it was clearly higher. So our recommended motion is to amend a total of $395,995 in already budgeted funds for substitute teachers as presented.
Any questions for Mr. Sandvik? All right, Mr. Sandvik, go ahead with number three.
The other expenditures amendment mostly reallocates already budgeted non-labor expenditures throughout the 2009-10 general purpose school budget. A total of $740,911 in expenditures is affected, and an additional $47,789 in state reimbursement revenue for testing expenditures offsets part of that $90,500 increase in the evaluation and testing line item. Account, have the wrong digit, 72,130, 322. The major changes, the other major changes covered in this amendment, an additional $179,851 for additional unemployment compensation. It looks like we have seen that number drop off somewhat in recent months. $155,000 for the portable moves and higher mowing costs. Last year we kind of held off on some things because of the tightness in that function. And $110,000 for the custodial materials and supplies. And that has been kind of a gradual increase as we have improved the quality of what we use. Some of the schools that used to buy their own out of their school funds now use what we get off bid. Kind of a double-edged sword there. It helped the schools, but it didn't help the GPS budget. And most of the other amendments reallocate non-labor line items within major functions. The requested motion is to amend an additional $47,789 in state reimbursement revenue for testing expenditures and to reallocate $740,911 in other expenditures as presented.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Maybe Mr. Clardy be better line to answer this. Explain the mowing procedures at school.
All right. I think go ahead. I can address the funding side of it.
Go back and forth.
Until last year, and because of utilities being so high last year, we tended to be able, we would release the purchase order for summer and fall mowing in June. Well, there wasn't enough money in that function last year. We were scraping everything for utilities, so we did not do that purchase order. So it wound up being an 09-10 purchase order. So that's why we had more mowing hit this year. We weren't able to spread it out.
But the individual principals aren't responsible, or what?
Once the yard is mowed, the principals have to check it out and sign off on it. So we have two contractors, one on the north end and one on the south end. We divide those schools up. It's really too large for just one contractor to handle. So those are bid out, and then the low bid goes to do them. Now, one reason also, because times were tight last year, we had cut back a little bit on the mowing to try to spread out the time a little bit more, but we came to the first opening of school and the yards were just kind of out of control at that point, so it took a little money to get them caught back up where we normally would. Now this year we are keeping that money in there so we make sure the schools look good when we start. And also, just a quick comment on custodial materials. We added 2 schools in this year also, that the middle schools, and it takes quite a bit of startup money on this custodial.
What about the outdoor landscaping?
On schools?
Yeah.
They trim around those. A lot of times the school will replace shrubs and things as they're needed.
But that's out of the school, their individual funds?
Yes, sir, usually. And of course we take care of the central office out of our funds. But we help them if it's something that's kind of out of the scope of what their funds are available. We'll go in and evaluate it and see if we can help them if they need it.
Any other questions? Ms. Sandy?
And then after I had prepared that amendment, we had some additional testing and evaluation expenditures hit, and just with kind of the big concerns on would the BEP be funded last year, hadn't been kind of missed on the communication that the new tests that well, not the new test, now either the Explore or the ACT is like an end of school, leaving school test for everyone. The state fit that in the BEP component, so we get funding for it, partial funding for it. When I did the previous amendment, I was thinking we got full funding for it, a little more investigation. So it increases testing and evaluation expenditures by $46,993 and uses already budgeted communication expenditures as the funding source. And those funds are available because the state has changed the way E-rate is being handled and the state contract. So our recommended motion there is to approve amending $46,993 to $72,130,322 testing and evaluation expenditures, and to amend $46,993 in budgeted communication expenditures as presented.
Yes, sir.
A question on this one. In the past, when we struggled over a possible property tax increase. We've had some commissioners point out, and a lot of times they were correct, that at the end of the year, we'd have a little bit of a windfall from the state. Are we headed for anything this time?
We don't know. We found out on June 28th last year. I checked today, mid-afternoon, and we have gotten nothing on what that final growth number will be.
But you're optimistic there'll be something?
Something, yes, sir. I'm hoping good, but I've got no clue from the state at this point.
If they do it on the 28th, could they do it before 9 a.m.?
Probably not.
Okay.
Now, last year on I think it was the 28th, we found out it was coming. We didn't know the amount until the 29th. We just knew it's coming. So kind of pushed that one back on us.
Any further questions from Mr. Sandy? I believe he's going to go to this other piece of paper at this point,
Yes, sir.
which is the $20,733 figure on certified staff, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, which is, some of us have it on one piece of paper, some of us got it right here, but I think we all
got
got
the
it.
new packet. It's in the new packet.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's the individual page.
Okay. If everybody's on literally the same page, we're ready to go.
And there is a chance the rest of our payrolls hit tomorrow. So there's a chance at Monday's commission meeting there could be another labor adjustment amendment that we would just be bringing straight to the commission. We try not to go over in any labor line item. As y'all may remember, I have rated that to cover retirement and medical insurance as much as I could. Well, I saw when the main teacher payrolls ran last week, I saw where I'd rated a bit too much in a couple of line items. Late changes hit and all like that. This amendment is a late adjustment of $20,133 in certified staff line items in the budget. $862 in related benefits are also being moved. It's due to late staff changes and 2 minor budget adjustments. I think those were both in the $50 to $70 range. The recommended motion is to approve amending $20,733 in certified staff line items and $862 in related benefits as presented.
Questions, Mr. Sandvig? If there are none, you want to go right on into the cafeteria? You want to do these 5 right now?
Yes, sir. Since
Okay.
it's a separate fund, I think, on the
Okay.
budget side.
All right, that's fine. I need a motion to approve these, really 5 amendments Mr. Sandvig has presented.
So moved.
Dr.
Second.
Bullen, Commissioner Jordan is seconding, and a roll call vote is called for.
Commissioner Bullen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Mr. Sandvig.
The centralized cafeteria Fund 143 budget amendment. This amendment adjusts the 2009-10 centralized cafeteria budget Fund 143. Revenues are being reduced by $464,725. That is primarily, we saw a shift toward free and reduced this year, which is no surprise, and a drop in a la carte sales. And the operating expenditures are being decreased by $230,000. It's a very conservative amendment because we don't have the end-of-year adjustments or the summer feeding program in yet. But it's one that will get us, it has the changes we need to make for this fiscal year. And the recommended motion is to amend the 2009-10 centralized cafeteria budget, Fund 143, as presented.
Questions? Evidently there are none, Mr. Sandvig. Anything else?
And we have cash banks.
Petty cash.
All right. And
I think we need to take this up by itself.
It's up to Mr. Sanders.
you might want to take it by itself.
Okay, I need a motion.
Motion approved.
Okay.
Second.
And second, I think it was Ms. Williams this time, okay. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Roll call, I'm sorry, I gotta miss at least once a meeting.
Yes.
He's voting before you call his name.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Mr. Zambi.
Okay, and this is another new item we have since centralizing the cafeteria fund. The petty cash on hand that we use in the cafeterias, request for the 2010-11 school year is $10,650. The $300 increase provides $150 in cash on hand for each of the 2 middle schools. And each cafeteria's manager is designated as the petty cash custodian. Each of them signs a receipt and agrees to abide by the guidelines that we have for these accounts. So our recommended motion is to approve the 2010-11 $10,650 petty cash / cash on hand request as presented.
So moved.
Cook has moved for approval. I need a second. And Mr. Gooch, any discussion, questions? If there are none, all in favor, please say aye. Roll call. I was supposed to make sure she was alert.
Commissioner Bullen?
2 in a row.
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes, well done, Ms. Sheldon. Mr. Zambi, is there anything else, sir? Mr. Clardy? Anything else? Okay, if you two will just kind of stay with us here for just a second. I think that pretty much concludes. I put on here about the meeting for next month, which occurs, of course, extremely late in the month. And I'll point out to Ms. Shelton using a book that's got 2008 on it, but I'm sure it's just, oh, okay. 2008 on the front of that book.
Just my little
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, the school board does not meet until even after that. Is that correct? Till really the next day. So my point is, I'd like to avoid a July meeting, save the taxpayers a little money. But if we have something come up, we can always have a call meeting. All right, at the wish of the board, I can handle it. But we need a little discussion on this, whatever we need.
I move we do not meet, and if something of mild significance comes up, that the chairman will have the power to deal with it.
I suppose it's not mild, I suppose it's major.
You better call us in.
Yes, sir.
Define mild.
Good answer. Oh, okay, I don't believe we're going to meet. Do you want a roll call vote on that, or we're okay?
You can do it any way you want to.
Okay, well, I need to get, we got a motion, I need a second on that.
Second.
I second.
You're not meeting July at all.
That's right. Well, we're not, evidently we're not going to, so that's.
We're going to follow that.
Okay, all in favor of not meeting in the month of July, please say aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes as well, and any opposition, and there is none. Okay. Any other business come before the committee? No? Have I forgotten anything? Somebody will surely tell me. Becky would have already told me, and we are adjourned. Thank you.